Round of applause for Mr. Scott Schilling.
Has anybody noticed that? Am I the only one? So I like to understand my audience a little bit. So one quick question. By a show of hands, how many of you have either seen me before or this is your first time? I see the confused look on some of your faces. How many of you understand that life happens? I have a $300,000 intro video. We have no screen. 300,000 just for this group. It was done just for this group. Specifically. That's how much I care. I just want you to know that. Who knows where this is going to go. Anyway, this is the fun of being a public speaker. Being a professional and being able to do this. People sit there and say, what happens when all of a sudden you don't have your slides and you don't have your stuff and you whatever? What you do is you recall other things in your career. Back September 29, 2012, I don't remember this all that well, but I was sitting and we were doing an event in Denver. We had 10,000 people in the audience and I was asked to do a talk and it got signed off on 3 days earlier because there was a lot of compliance in the talk. And I said, quite frankly, I don't even want to do this talk. The only way I'll do it is if I can make it what I believe God has put on my heart, which is a talk called The Trilogy of Success, Faith, Family, Focus. But I'll turn it into Faith, Family, Finance to present this financial product that you guys want me to present. I've been very blessed. I've done 2,000 events. I've sold over $25 million from the stage. I've spoke to close to 1 million people. I was the first guy to ever sell a non-Tony product on a Tony stage. That's pretty cool. Everybody hated me. It's Tony, it's supposed to be free. Anyway, so I'm following Michael J. Fox. We're in the Denver Convention Center, concrete floors. Sound is bouncing like crazy. It's the worst sound you could possibly have. They're all irritated. I follow Michael J. Fox. Unfortunately, his Parkinson's was really kicked in, and he was on. And so he read his talk for 30 minutes. And it sounded something like this. Back to the Future. Spin City. Family Ties. The crowd was not happy. Everybody felt bad. It was really, and I followed him. And so I came up, and I was ready to go. I got it. There I am in the round, and if you're ever in the round, you got two monitors here, and two here, and two here, and two here, so you can work the entire stage and work the audience and do everything. It's so cool. So I did Faith. Man, I had it. I owned the audience. I did Family. I mean, I got to talk about my little girl that's 29. How'd that happen? Anyway, and all of a sudden it came time for me to do what I was really up there to. I'm 22 minutes into 60 minutes. And I go to the finance part that got signed off on 3 days earlier, and the screens went black for the next 38 minutes of 38 minutes. And I sat in front of 10,000 people and tap danced. It was awesome. It was so cool. And it was actually a very pivotal day in my life because when you've done 2,000 events, what happens is you can actually be doing a lot of things at the same time. You can be giving your talk. You can be thinking about the person in speaker left, row 4, seat 3. You can be ordering your lunch. And you can be having a conversation with God all at the same time. I was having a conversation with God. Why did you put me here? My career is now over. Oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this to me. As I'm talking to the audience. It was so cool. Anyway, we finish, and I send people to the table like I'm supposed to at the end. If you're ready to take advantage of this, head on back to the tables. God bless. Look. And as soon as I was done, I erupted at God. And here I am on stage in the round, 10,000 people. Now I got to get to the green room. It's back there. I got to go through the audience. And I start coming off stage, and I go, God, that is it! And I'm yelling at the top of my lungs. I am done being a hired gun. I will not do anything anymore except for 3 things. Share messages of hope and inspiration, teach and train others to do the same, and build your kingdom. Do you hear me? I am done. The crowd erupts. They think I'm really excited about the product I just sold. I was yelling at God at the top of my lungs. Now, I came walking backstage, and there's this wonderful lady in the back. And she said, excellent job. And I said, I have no clue what you just saw. My professional career is now officially over. She goes, no, you were awesome. I don't know what you saw, but I was not. Anyway, the whole bottom line of that is that night changed my entire life. That day changed my entire life. I might get into it in what I'm really supposed to be talking about here. But it's so amazing. What happens is, as Ricardo and I were talking about this, he goes, do you have slides? Do you have this? I have whatever you want. You know, what do you want me to do, right? It's one of those kind of things. And I said, well, what it really is about showing up and playing full out. And he goes, well, that's what our group does. I said, well, that'll be a short talk. You know, I mean, if you already do this, you don't need me. I mean, what the heck? And I said, no, what I'd really like to share is what's been put on my heart as I go forward. And that's 7 steps to living your legacy. Not leaving. Living your legacy. See, legacy shouldn't be something that you accumulate throughout your life and then leave once you die. Legacy should be what you're known for as you live. It should be what we do on a daily basis. Nobody ever had to question Mother Teresa's legacy. We didn't have to wait till she died to know what she was all about. She lived it every day. She was a living example. That's what's so exciting about this group. You guys are a living example of what it should be. And so I've been very blessed. I've probably spent somewhere between $300,000 and $400,000 on mentors. Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, Harv Eker, John Childers, John Dealey, J.J. Virgin. I can go on and on. Well, why? Why would I do that? Because over my career, they've made me millions of dollars. Now, I had to go apply the effort. I had to take the information. I had to own that information, and I had to take it and use it. And my commitment to every one of my mentors was, give me everything you got, and I won't keep it. Don't hold anything back from me. Tell me everything there is to know, and I will share it with my audiences. That's the playing full out part. How many of you have had stuff in their life? Just 3 of you. That's awesome. The rest of you are all perfect. That's great. I'd like to have that manual. The fact of the matter is we all have stuff. And so why do we seek out mentoring? It's funny, I was sitting with Jack Canfield. He's a great friend. And we were sitting there one night. I'd had a little red wine involved. And anyway, we were sitting there, and he said, you've become pretty good at this. And I said, yeah, well, technically I'm better than you. Jack doesn't hear that much. And he goes, how do you figure? I said, you had 1 mentor. I've got like 18. So the strength of my mentors makes me better than you by default, if I put it into action. He goes, oh, touche, grasshopper. So the fact of the matter is, that's actually where Sherry and I met how many years ago? A long time ago. Anyway, so the point again, this is 7 steps to living your legacy. Well, I actually come out of as much as anything, the Zig Ziglar camp. And when I was 17 years old, not long ago, it's not that funny, I read a book called See You at the Top. And there was a quote in that book that forever changed my life at age 17. You can have anything in life you want when you simply help enough other people get what they want. It was a total positioning for my entire life. Ricardo saw the $300,000 video just the other day. And he goes, "Why didn't you give this to me earlier? We could have used it to promote you." And I said, "Well, because it promotes me." And he goes, "But why wouldn't you use it?" I said, "Because that's not me. Because it's not about me. It's about the message. It's about being a servant leader. It's about let your living example carry you through. Live your legacy. Let that carry through. Not all this." See, I live in a world, I've shared the stage with every name you know. If you'd seen the video, you would have seen lots of people. I mean, I've shared the stage with Colin Powell and Rudy Giuliani and Steve Forbes and Susie Orman and Laura Bush and name somebody. I've shared the stage with them. Everybody goes, "That's really cool." I go, "They're people." And they're going like, "You're not impressed." Why would I be impressed? Here's the thing. They've shared the stage with me. Do you understand? I can just see Colin Powell. Hey, I shared the stage with Scott Schilling not long ago, right? We're all people. The only thing we are is people who want to make a difference in other people's lives. That's when you find the real people. It's about the 14-inch journey. Does anybody know what that is? From your head to your heart. It's dropping down. It's not an intellectual or tactical process. It's a relational, strategic process. It's about dropping in and truly caring for people. I was sitting in back just thinking about this. Do you have any idea how long it took for me to be in front of you here today? Do you have any idea? No, I mean just possibly. Good guess. No, within the Firewalker group. 14 months. And I don't live that far away. I'm in Las Colinas. I mean, heck, it's like, are you kidding me? And I'm seeing friend after friend speaking here first. And I'm like, I do this for a living. Yeah, we know. Guess who we have next month? Right, Ricardo? He's laughing because he knows it's true. How long did it take me to get on the stages to share with Colin Powell, Rudy Giuliani, Laura Bush, Stephen Forbes, 10 years. Because 10 years earlier, somebody was doing an event here in Dallas. They asked me to speak, so I spoke. Well, they were expecting about 250 people. They had 750 people. So they didn't have enough people to man the back tables. So after I spoke, I said, "Hey, I live here locally. It's obvious you don't have enough people to take care of the back table. I'll work the back table for you the rest of the weekend." They said, "Well, we can't pay you." I said, "When did I ever say, pay me?" I said, "I'll be of service to you for the rest of the weekend. You need help." Well, that guy who organized that event walked into a room in Sarasota, Florida, in the Marina Hotel to a presentation I was giving. He walked in. I went, "Hey, Rick, how you doing?" 5 years later. He goes, "You remember my name?" I said, "I remember every guy I spent a weekend with at the Hotel Intercontinental." It was not like that. No, that is shame on you. Anyway, he ended up purchasing the product that I was sharing that day. 5 years later, he became in charge of all the speakers at Get Motivated. He, Peter Lowe, and the president of the company sat down in a meeting. They all said, "Let's pray. Who's the best speaker in the country who's not speaking on our stage right now?" They all prayed. They all wrote down a name. They crumpled it up, put it in the middle. They all three picked it up. All three had my name on it. They called me and said, hey, would you like to come speak for us? I said, I've been waiting for the call. 10 years. Now, would I have liked it to be sooner? God's plan and timing is perfect. Every bit of it is perfect. The fact that we don't have this today is perfect. It's only not perfect if you go, oh my God, I don't have any material. What am I going to do? I got to read a slide. If I don't read a slide, I can't do anything. Quite frankly, you give me your slides, I can do your presentation. I've done 2,000 events. Because it's not about what's on the slide. It's about what's in your heart. It's about what's here. It's what Tony teaches. It's what everybody teaches, right? Not everybody. The people who do it right. It's about how do we contribute to other people. Again, we want to live our legacy, not just leave it. We need to be a living example of what we are. How you do anything is how you do everything. The fact of the matter is, I live in a world with speakers who I have met more nieces in the green rooms. Some guys' families are very extended. They got a lot of really pretty nieces. 3 of you got that. And then they go on stage and talk about family values. Ooh, right? And so the fact of the matter is, how you do anything is how you do everything. The fact is, what you focus on is what you get. That's why vision boards are so great. The fact of the matter is, if I can see where I'm going to, my body will take me there. My mind will take me there. My subconscious will take me there. So again, is the glass half full or half empty? If you're an engineer, it's twice as big as it needs to be. You know, it's not even you didn't even give me the right answer, right? It's how you think about things as you go through, right? Are we having any fun yet? Is this okay? Okay, then I can keep going? Thank you for your permission. I appreciate that. So, what happens in living your legacy is there's some foundational things. The first thing is you have to be authentic. You have to be you. You can't be me. I can't be you. We can't be Ricardo. I can't be Sherry. We have to be who we are. We have to own ourselves. Own who you are. Don't try to manufacture something else. Again, the way we do that is we take that 14-inch journey. Find out who your foundation is. Find out what you own in your life. It's got to be from here. The one thing that people know when I got a call from a promoter. Actually, it was a Tony event up in Toronto. I got asked to do that 15,000 person event that Tony just did in Toronto. I hadn't talked to the promoter in 7 years. They called me and they said, would you like to come up to Toronto and share the stage with Tony and Pitbull and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, I don't believe I can serve you the way you want to be served, but I have a friend who could. And so I called my friend. I said, would you be interested? I put them together. I gave a friend a 15,000 person event. Anybody think that's crazy? Okay. So the point is, thank you. The point is, what that did is put me closer with that guy. We're working on consummating a deal that could be worth $100 million. Now, this seems like a great opportunity. This is greater. When we truly understand each other and we do those kinds of things, it's amazing what happens in our life. But where this all starts from is core values. If we don't have core values in our life, we can be led astray by anything. So as an example, my first core value is faith. For me, that's belief in God and Jesus Christ. For you, it might be Buddha, Allah, Hindi, the universe, whatever you choose to call it, I'm fine with. My God says, be a living example of your belief. I'll do the heavy lifting in conversion. That's not your job. Your job is to live your belief. Just as if you believe in a different higher source, it's your job to live that belief. That's your job, is to be that living example. So I know that I have faith, I have foundation, I have somebody and something that I can rely upon. Again, I said it earlier, God's plan and timing is perfect. If I was supposed to have these slides, they'd be working right now. If I wasn't, they're not. Okay. But how many people get wrapped around the axle about all sorts? If you were supposed to get down 635 faster, you would have. But if you weren't, or you didn't, you weren't supposed to. You have no idea what you were saved from by not getting there sooner. You have no idea. You know, I've spent most of the last 6 weeks in Las Vegas, and I was flying back here the other night, and man, this guy lit up the gate agent. You've got to get me on this plane. You don't seem to understand. There are storms coming through Texas, and if I don't get there, I'll miss my connection, and then I'll be stuck, and then I'll be... Dude, you want my seat? What? It's really not that big a deal. Well, why would you offer the seat? Because if you're supposed to, and God's plan is to give it to him, he'll give it to him. And if it's not his plan, a seat will show up. You understand? Your life changes a lot when that's your core value. My second one is integrity. Integrity comes from the word integer. One. Wholeness. How you do anything is how you do everything. There's not like kind of an integrity. You can't kind of be an integrity. Either you're an integrity or you're not. You know, I've seen speakers in this situation where, you know, program, light up the promoters. Light up the people who invited them to be there. Demean the crowd because the system didn't work. Get over yourself. It's a frickin' PowerPoint. My God, right? If you don't know your material, if you don't own it, well, the only reason what you do is you take what you own and you put it on a PowerPoint. What's on the PowerPoint is not who you are. It's what you take and put on there as who you are. Does that make some sense? The next one's courage. Courage isn't fighting or not being afraid of things or having fear or having issues in your life. It's toughing it through. Stuff has happened. I was doing a process not too long ago, and I was handwriting out my life story. And all of a sudden, at one point, something took over my hand. And in capital letters, I went, I am an overcomer. I am the champion of champions. Holy crap, where'd that come from? Why? Perseverance. Completely severed Achilles tendon. Was told I'd never walk right again. Play sports. 10-time racquetball champion. Played Big Ten football. Had pro football tryouts. But wait, I was never supposed to walk right again. Divorce. I had a starter wife. You know, I had a stroke. I've had We'll get into some of all this, huh? All of this stuff is put into your life. There's a pretty good book. There's a pretty good manual. And at one point it says, all things work towards your good. Not some things. All things work towards your good. All things. The whole point is, we're put on this planet to experience life, to serve others, and all of a sudden you find out, man, I've got a whole new compassion for other people. I've got a whole new understanding for other people. I've got a whole new peace about things. Isn't that amazing? All things, not some things. Right? Courage. How about accountability? Accountability is say what you do and do what you say. It's no more complicated than that. Be accountable for word, action, deed. If you sit there, these are all my core values. Do you understand? So Matt and I have gotten to know each other, and the point is, I think you've seen me demonstrate these things, right? I live these things. This isn't oh, this looks nice. I've been to a seminar. I should write this down. I should have core values. That would be a really cool thing to do. This is, you do this, you study this, you figure it out, you own it, you internalize it, you embody it, then you play it full out. You just go do it. And the last one is stewardship. Stewardship is being a good steward of the blessings that have been handed to us in life. That's kids. They're a blessing. Certain ages, you don't think that. Other ages, you go, yeah, I guess so. They kind of got through there, you know. They went through the curve. So as an example, my first book has got 21 charities tied to it. The proceeds go to the charities. The whole book was written to disguise the charities. In other words, you buy the book because you want to read about the cool people in the book, but the cool people in the book all give back to something. Well, if they give back, you should give back. It's a trick. We're trying to get you to give. Generosity builds prosperity, not the other way around. So you got to start with these core values, but then the fact is you got to live it. You know, we talk all the time, or we've heard it. Actually, this is one of the slides says, what's in your wallet? You hear the commercial all the time, right? What's in your wallet? Better question. What's in your heart? What are your core values? Where do you come from in this entire process? And if you can understand what's really important in your life, it's probably important in the lives of other people too. It's really not that hard. Let me get another show of hands. How many of you know how to smile? Yeah, I was starting to wonder. Now, what? It's like, damn, this is getting heavy. No. Okay, Amy's got this down. Why do I ask that? How much does a smile cost? But what can a smile do? It immediately changes two lives. Yours and the person who sees it. When I got out of the hospital after my stroke, I couldn't fly because I had just had a stroke. So we had to go up to Las Vegas to my sister-in-law's. I had to stay there for a period of time, and I'll tell you that more later. But anyway, so my wife goes, let's do something normal. And I said, what's that? She goes, let's go to the grocery store. So, okay. So I'm pushing a cart down an aisle. Somebody comes walking this way, and I just go. And they start walking away. I'm like, that was weird. And so I go down the next aisle. Oh, my God. And they start walking away. So the third aisle, somebody's walking straight down the aisle. So I take my cart and I cross it. And I don't let them through, and I just go. And she goes, what is your problem? I said, I was just wondering if anybody was ever going to say anything. She goes, why did you smile at me? I said, you ready? This is a pretty complex answer. She said, sure. Because I could. You're weird. Thank you. I appreciate that. Why do we not just do nice things and just smile? If nothing else, the other person goes, what are they up to? You know, I mean, look, get them thinking, right? You got to live this stuff. You got to have fun. Like when somebody says, how you doing? How many times a day are you asked, how you doing? Multiple? How many times do you think they really want to know? Never. Not once. There isn't anybody who says, how you doing, that really wants to know how you're doing. It's just this uncomfortable, oh God, there's somebody there, I got to say something, right? So here's my answer. Fabulous. But I'll get better. What? Fabulous. But I'll get better. There's something better than fabulous? Oh, there's plenty better than fabulous. What just happened? We just started a conversation. People sit here and say, oh, business is so hard, meeting people is so hard, all this stuff is so hard. Then you ain't playing full out. You want to have some fun, start changing the state of other people, because you can do it with that one. I've been upgraded at minimum 4 times, simply for walking up to the ticket agent as I'm checking in my bag, because what are they trained to say? How are you doing? How's your day? How's whatever? Fabulous, but I'll get better. That is so refreshing. Oh my God, what's better than fabulous? Better than fabulous is probably sitting up front instead of in the back. Are you asking me to upgrade you? I would never do that. That wouldn't be appropriate. She goes, but I like your attitude. I said, well, I could really be fabulous. Well, let me see what I can do. Click, click, click. Here, don't tell anybody. Oh, I won't. You think I'm kidding. If you treat people with dignity and respect, if you honor other people, it's amazing what happens in life. It's like I could have jumped up and down and, but we met first. How come I'm not speaking sooner? It's not right. It's not fair. It's not. Get over yourself. The plan and timing is perfect. It's exactly when you guys need to hear this message. You didn't need to hear this message then. I didn't have this message then. I don't have this message now. Wait, reload. Okay. So you think I'm kidding. So my pre-event, what I was doing in back, some of you may have seen me. I was sitting like this. What was I doing? My pre-event prayer. Lord, allow the words that I share here today to positively impact 100% of the lives in this audience positively in one way, shape, or form. Only you know who you sent here to hear this message. Allow me to do the best I can to deliver that message, be a vehicle and of service to you. That's all I can ever control. A high intention and a low attachment. A high intention of imparting something good here today, and a low attachment as to what that might be for you or for me, quite frankly. You know, if you guys love this, awesome. You know, put it on social media, do all sorts of different stuff. If you don't love it, blame it on Ricardo. It's the way it works, right? So again, all I can ever control is an intention of coming in here and imparting nuggets. And I trust that my God will deliver the message it needs to be, especially if I don't have slides. I've had one of the business talks I do called the 3 Absolutes. I had a friend, he goes, I've seen you do that slide deck 8 times. Not one of the talks is the same, with the exact same slides. I said, because it's about the audience, it's about the message, it's about what drops in, it's about all the different things. My job is just to be a vehicle. And sometimes I get taken over. And that's why sometimes people say, can you repeat that? And I'll go, absolutely not. I have no clue what I just said. And they go, you're kidding, right? And I go, no, not really. Because again, if we're true to who we are, if we own our brilliance, we shouldn't have to have it all planned out. It should just drop in. Is this making some sense? We're just kind of free-flowing here. I kind of like it. Glad it's being recorded. I can't wait to hear what I said. So, again, what are the 7 steps to living your legacy? Well, there's 7 areas of life. And so what's really interesting, and this is in my upcoming book, but the 7 steps create an acronym. I'm an acronym guy. The reason I create acronyms is because if you can remember the acronym, typically you can remember the teaching or the points from the teaching. Well, what's so cool about the 7 steps of living your legacy is the acronym is balance. And the B in balance is our spiritual side, belief in higher source. I believe we have to start with belief in higher source. Whatever that is for you. Again, it is not my job to convince you to believe what I believe. That is not my job, according to my understanding of the material I've read. It is my job to follow and be a living example of that. Follow me. That's my job. But that is the job of anybody, whether it's the universe or Buddha or Hindi or Allah or whatever. Whatever those teachings are, that is your task. Now, what I find, it's very interesting. Everybody goes, you talk about your spiritual relationship from stage? Every talk. Every talk. And I even started my talk in Singapore to 5,000 people in a 10% Christian country, which I didn't know at the time, with my prayer. I went back to my hotel. I said, I should probably look that up. I went, holy crap, am I grateful I'm still alive. just saying, I'm telling you the truth. The point is, there's one definition when we talk about our spiritual side. There's one definition that addresses two words. Belief in the unseen, assurance of the unknown, is the definition of fear. It's belief in the unseen. Hasn't happened yet. Assurance of the unknown. Hasn't happened yet. But when it does, it's going to be bad. But that same definition is faith. Belief in the unseen. Hasn't happened yet. Assurance of the unknown. When it happens, it's going to be awesome. Who has the choice of choosing which word? You do. Now here's the interesting part, is as I have studied, I've only found one place where it's corroborated, and that is to the positive, in faith. Faith is belief in the unseen, assurance of the unknown. Every one of you has faith. How do I know that to be true? You're sitting in these chairs. How many of you have been on 75 today? 635. You have faith. You have faith of the person driving 75 or 90 miles an hour next to you will stay in their lane. You have faith. You would not be here if you don't have faith. You would not be here. You would not have a business if you don't have faith. It's not possible, because there's no assurance anybody will ever walk in your door. There's no assurance anybody will ever buy from you. There's no assurance that real estate will go up in value. Zero. But you still do it. Why? Because you have faith. So why do you have faith part of the time? Why do you switch definitions sometimes? I got an idea for you. Don't. Stop it. There's no place for fear. Now, does it mean it doesn't happen? No, it happens to all of us. The first time I was standing in front of 25,000 people, you can go up there on stage and you can go, oh my God, there's 25,000 people. Or you can go, oh my God, there's 25,000 people. And they got to sit there and listen to me. This is so cool. Right? How do you take it? I speak to whoever shows up. It doesn't matter whether... Let me tell you, talking to 2 people is a whole lot harder than speaking to 25,000. 25,000 is easy. It's a rush, kind of fun, right? But this is fun. It's intimate. So the B is belief in higher source. We've got to start with a spiritual foundation. The A is align yourself professionally. We spend way too much time doing whatever is our income-producing activities to not enjoy them. But align yourself with them. You know when you're aligned. You know when you're not aligned. This is where core values come back into play. You know, your core value is integrity, and your boss tells you to cheat your customer. Right? Or lie to your customer. My daughter, I'm so proud of her. She came out of Abilene Christian. She was a college volleyball player. She's just a great kid. Got an amazing job with a pharmaceutical company. When she got out of school, was making 6 digits at 23 years old. Just awesome. And she was working for 3 pigs. And the pigs verbally, sexually harassed her. And she came over one day and she goes, "Daddy, we got to talk." Oh, heck, what did I do? No, it's not you this time. No, she goes, "These guys are pigs. They're demeaning me. They are a different spiritual belief that demeans women. And they make sure that they demean us. And they make sure that they say all these different things." And she goes, "Daddy, I know I'm making a lot of money, but I don't know." And I said, "So what do you want to do?" She goes, "You want to hear what I really want to do?" I said, "You probably want to tone it down a little bit." And she goes, "I want to tell them go shove it and take their job and stick it." I said, "Give me a high five." And she did. And she went in and she goes, "You guys are pigs. I quit." "You're going to give up 6 digits at 23 years old?" She goes, "Yep." It's my girl. She became the youngest manager in the Keg system, Keg Steakhouses, in North America. She goes, "Daddy, I'll go wait tables. I don't care." She started waiting tables, and all of a sudden they made her a manager, and then she became the youngest manager in North America. Why? Core values. She aligned herself professionally. She goes, "Daddy, you know, we're peddling these drugs, we're doing these different things, we're really not helping people, we're doing some different stuff like that, but I love the service industry. Is it okay if I make less money doing what I love?" I said, "Sure, high five. That's so cool." I mean, golly. Sorry, I'm getting a little misty. You know, your baby girl makes those kind of decisions, right? You go, that's what it's about. This is what we do. This is the influence we have. You know, it was really cool on Facebook 2 days ago. Somebody said, "We're going to bring in a bunch of national speakers, taking a poll. Who would you like to have come in? Who's the best business speaker you know?" And they're all, you know, here's Tony, Grant Cardone, Brian Tracy, and here's my daughter, Scott Schilling. He's the best. Awesome. Isn't that cool? Isn't that what it's supposed to be? I mean, my kids actually like me. My God, you got to be doing right, but that's the living. They've seen it lived out. You know, she goes, "Daddy, man, I want to find a guy like you. I mean, the way you open the door for Peggy every time she gets in the car, the way you treat her with respect, the way you, isn't that what we're supposed to do? Right? But where did we lose that? We lost it if we stopped talking about it. We've got to live the legacy. We've got to show people the example. And then we got to make it happen. Is this making some sense? Sorry, I got a little misty there. Whew. Okay, the third, the L, wow, time's flying. The L stands for live a healthy lifestyle. Now, I talked about my car accident. Well, I actually didn't talk about my car accident. So I was going to an event like this one day. I balanced a box of books on my knee. I flipped open the back hatch of my Lexus SUV at the time. I ducked underneath, smacked me in the back of the head, just about cold-cocked me. I was rattling around, had this headache. I was like, oh my God, I got to go speak now. I'm dizzy. I got to do all this different stuff. Well, it dissected a vessel in my brain, my PICA, posterior interior cerebellum artery. It actually separated the inner and outer walls. So 4 days later, I got on an airplane, flew out to California to work with a client. We were doing a TV show shoot and all that. And all of a sudden, we shot for those first 4 days. We went to the Angelus Temple, Matthew Barnett's church for breakfast. For services. Then we went to the Dream Center. We were up on top of the Dream Center. An amazing story if you don't know about the Dream Center. Anyway, and we're looking into the sun, taking a picture, and it's like an ice pick, like going like that. And we decided to go to Universal City Walk for lunch. So we go back to the hotel, get on the van, get on the shuttle, get off at Universal City Walk. Tingling stumps from here down. My legs stopped working. I'm looking at my feet going, they're still there. All of a sudden I got dizzy. All of a sudden I started getting disoriented. Grabbed a railing. I was walking with 7 people, 3 of them doctors. Coincidence? I think not. They sat me down in a chair. One of the doctors looked straight in my eyes. He said, "What's your phone number?" 817-239-7732. What? Why would you be asking me that? Can't you see I can't walk? No reason. I'm gray, I'm cold, I'm clammy. I'm sweating profusely. I'm in the middle of a cerebellum stroke. There's a spot like this back here on my cerebellum. Now, if any of you understand the cerebellum, it controls speech, memory, talking, walking, balance, fine motor skills. Not a good thing for a speaker. Just not if you had an injury, not the one you want. So they take me to the emergency room. I'm there for 5 hours. They discharge me with a major migraine. I go back to the hotel. My head is about to explode. I feel like kitty litter. I feel so bad. It's unbelievable. I go lay down in bed. The pain is so bad, I can't take it anymore. I cried out, "God, help!" I heard an audible, "Drop to your knees." The only audible I've ever heard. I slid out of bed. I had my elbows up on the bed. I said, "Lord, I've been teaching your plan and timing is perfect for the last couple years now. I do not pretend to understand this plan or this timing. I do not believe your plan is to call me home. I do not believe your plan is to maim me or disable me. So I'm choosing to believe your plan is to wake me up." Duly noted. You got my attention. And I'm supposed to use this event to serve and save myself and others physically and spiritually for the rest of my life. And if that, in fact, is your will for my life, I ask for your wisdom and guidance going forward so I do that appropriately. And if that's not your will for my life, I just want you to know, whatever you got planned, I'm good with. I didn't crawl back into bed. I crawled on a cloud. 0 pain. Total peace. I've never felt it before. I've never felt it since. Asleep. Woke up the next day, went on set, shot 3 TV shows. 53 minutes, 18 minutes, 14-minute segments. Went to a neurologist afterwards. He said, "I think you have a trapped occipital nerve radiating these headaches, but we need an MRI." Couldn't get that till the next day. Next day, 48 hours after the event, they finally read the MRI. Here were his first words: "Get your ass to the hospital. Check into ICU. You've had a stroke." I was then scared. A friend picked me up, took me to the hospital. That whole story is hilarious. I walked into the admissions area, said, "Ma'am, I need to check into ICU. I've had a stroke." She said, "Sir, this is a hospital, not a hotel." That's a story in itself. Anyway, spent 6 days in intensive care. The doctors trying to figure out why I was alive. Not trying to keep me alive, trying to figure out why I was alive. At one point, they're looking at my MRI out in the hallway. I hear them talking. So I don't get this guy. He's laughing, joking, goofing off in there with us. You look at his MRI, he should be in deep trouble. We got these 2 other stroke patients on the floor. We look at their MRIs, nothing compared to his. They're both in deep, deep trouble. I don't get it. I got it. Doc looks in and goes, what? I said, I got it all figured out. He goes, okay, smart butt. Not exactly what he said. He said, okay, smart butt, what is it? I said, it's obvious. It's God's grace, mercy, favor on my life. He goes, that's as good an answer as we got. And they walked out. 6 days. At 100 days, I had another contrast scan, totally healed. I walk away with nothing, 0 residual. If you understand cerebellum strokes, this doesn't happen. 30 days after that, I was back in Dallas. I was speaking at the Plano Women's Division, a small business, 100 business women. And during the thing, I was giving a business talk, and I said, sometimes you just got to persevere. I mean, 30 days ago, I had a cerebellum stroke. And then I went on. So that's all I said. I didn't describe it at all. I just went on. You know, you got to tough it sometimes in business. A woman came up to me afterwards. She said, are you saying 30 days ago you had a cerebellum stroke? I said, yes, ma'am. She goes, people don't come out like you. I said, well, this is the only experience I've had. I said, why would you say that? She goes, I work for the American Heart and Stroke Association. I said, good, use me. She goes, we can't pay you. I said, when did I say pay me? I said, use me. We were able to create a relationship. We put them together with one of the companies I work with. So far, we've raised about $750,000. All things work to you good. Now, would I wish a stroke on anybody? Heck no. It is no fun. Anyway, I got to get off this topic. Let's see, where are we? That was L. Second A, achieve financial freedom. You have an invitation to make as much money as you possibly can, not because you need the money. It's because of the 2 things that come with the money. It's the influence you have and the good you can do. It's not about the money itself. If we can take and use our skills, our talents, our capabilities, do everything we possibly can, and earn, we all have a number that we can live on very comfortably. Okay, take that number, take some more, and then start going back. Again, Talking with Giants is all about generosity builds prosperity, not the other way around. We don't give then, we don't prosper then give, we give then prosper. We don't give to prosper, but the byproduct of giving is prospering. You have to give to other people, right? If nothing else, it makes your heart feel good. It fills you back up. The end in balance is for nurture relationships. This is your social side. You're doing a great job of it by being here. Get involved with like-minded, like-hearted people. People who really want to support you through the thick and thin, will fight with you with everything that you do. Stuff is going to happen in life. It just will. Understand that you've got to have that circle of people around you. I've got a go-to guy. Ricardo said, where's Sean? I can't believe none of you guys aren't attached at the hip. If he's got an issue, he calls me. If I've got an issue, I call him. If I called him just this week. And try doing this. I challenge you to do this with 5 of your friends. Call them, hoping to get their voicemail. Your desire is not to have them answer. And here's what you say. Hey, Ricardo, this is Scott Schilling, the president of your fan club. I just want you to know you are absolutely freaking awesome. I want you to know I love you. Here for you, brother. Talk to you later. You can't believe the calls you get back. It's so cool. People are like, what are you smoking? No, it's so cool, right? It's so amazing to be able to invest and nurture in other people. Relationships are 100-100. They are not 50-50. If you strive for 50-50 relationships, you will lose. And here's why. Let me give you an analogy. We have a river, and on this side of the river is a tree. And on this side of the river is a tree. And if we bend those to 50-50 and we lash them, our bridge is only as strong as the lashing that holds the 50-50 together. But if we take that tree and bend it all the way over to the other bank, and bend this tree all the way over to the other bank, and we now lash those trees, we have a bridge that's impenetrable. Relationships are not 50-50. Marriages are not 50-50. They are 100-100. There are going to be times where you have to give, and you're going to go, but that's the way it works, if you want it to work. The C in balance stands for contribution beyond self. This is your legacy. Not only is it about living it throughout the years, but it is also about leaving it. So as an example, again, I keep on going to this book. Here's another book too. Anyway, written 12 of them. This book, Cynthia Kersey made an impassioned plea from stage to support Habitat for Humanity. It was a Mark Victor Hansen mega speaker event. There were 800 people in the audience. I'm sitting with two friends. She gives me this. I've never been hit in the heart as hard as she did. She said, "Women, we're going to build 40 houses. We're going to build 40 houses in 40 days. We're going to swing all the hammers. We're going to drive all the nails. We are going to do this. This is the Women's Build Program for Habitat for Humanity. Men, the only thing we need you for is your money." I should have seen that coming. Anyway, my buddy on this side, this was this impassioned plea. It was like, oh, I had never had anything hit my heart like that. Never. Oh, man. That's awesome. Friend sitting on this side. Do you feel that? Yeah, dude, this is freaking awesome. I'm going to write her a big-ass check. And he told us what the amount of the check was. It officially qualified. Big-ass check. Big check. 5 digits and a lot of them. Okay? Like, damn. Turned to the friend on this side. He goes, wow. He said, I can't write a check that big, but I'm going to write her a big check. That check still had a comma in it. Damn. And they both looked at me. What are you going to do? I can't. They said, what? I can't write a check. I thought you said this hit your heart. I said, I've never felt so small in my life. That's why I'm here. To learn how to be a professional speaker so I can serve more people, make more money, do more things. I said, I'm a vice president, corporate America. Make a nice living. So what? Quasi paycheck to paycheck because we were in a stock play. I can't. I've never felt so small in my life. But I said, I'm going to do something about it. They said, what are you going to do? I said, I have no idea. But I said it with conviction. I said, I have no idea with conviction. So we took a break after that. Of course, they're collecting all the money, all the checks, all the stuff. Cynthia's in the back of the room. I walk up to her. I said, Cynthia, hi, I'm Scott Schilling from Dallas, Texas. I know a lot of people with a lot of money. Can't very well ask them to give me their money for me to help you, but I'm going to help you out. She goes, what can I count you for? I said, I have no idea. She goes, no, seriously. I said, no, seriously, I have no idea. But I am committed to help you. She goes, what are you going to do? I said, I've already told you. I have no idea. She goes, fine, let me talk to them. And she walked away from me. I was like, that didn't go well. Anyway, so that we go through the rest of that event. And we're at the LAX Marriott, the seminar hotel of LA. And all of a sudden, the whole event's done. I've got a red eye back at 12:15 in the morning, officially Monday morning. This is a Sunday evening. It's about 6 o'clock. I'm sitting in the lobby waiting because I don't want to go wait over at LAX. And here comes Mark Victor Hansen and Dear Abby. And Mark looks at me. He goes, "Hey, Scott, what are you doing?" I said, "Just waiting for my plane." He goes, "Come on, come have dinner with us." He goes, "I want you to meet Dear Abby." Well, hi. We can talk about some problems. Anyway, so we go into this private area, and here's all these speakers that I know. And I'm going like, man, this is really cool. You know, this is cool. I mean, I wasn't really in the business yet, but enough people knew me. Mark and Jack knew me at that point, and a few people knew me. And so all of a sudden, I get to know some of these people. I'm sitting there at dinner, I go, man, there's some giants in this room. This is really cool. You know what's really cool is every one of them cares. Everybody wants to give back. They all support somebody. They got this philanthropic bent in their life. That's really cool. We have dinner. I don't think too much of it. I go to LAX. I sit there and I'm like, well, like I say, there's all these giants. I mean, what if, well, think of the guys I know back in Dallas. I mean, I know CEOs of Kimberly-Clark, and I know, you know, all these people are really, these guys are giants, and man, they're really cool. I went, what if I was just talking with giants? Damn. And I wrote it down, talking with giants. Well, what if I actually talked to them about their life lessons and then turned it into whatever, and what if we turned that, and, well, what if we used the proceeds and we supported Cynthia? Oh, this is freaking awesome. So I write the whole concept on the plane that night. I can't sleep. I got to sleep because I got to go to work the next day. I can't sleep. I'm writing the whole concept of the book. I get into the office. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. It's so exciting. I got to do this book. Work? Screw that. Anyway, I got to do this book. So I called Jack Canfield. I said, Jack, Mark gave me an idea yesterday. Cynthia Kersey made this impassioned plea. I got to interview for my new book. Jack goes, cool. When you want to talk? Awesome, Jack Canfield says yes. So I called Mark. I said, hey, Mark, you caused this. You started this. So, man, you got to be in my book. Mark goes, I'd be delighted to be in your book. So I called Harv Eker. I said, hey, Harv, you know, we just did that. You know, we got some things going on, and we just talked, and what do you need? I'd like to interview you for my book. And he goes, that'd be awesome. So I called Cynthia Kersey. I said, Cynthia, remember me? I'm Scott Schilling. She goes, you're the guy that said you're going to do something. I said, okay, so you remember me. I'm going to do something. She goes, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to interview you. You got to be in the book. You caused it. What book? It's called Talking with Giants. Your story's going to be in the book. Awesome. Went to a friend of mine that owns the National Long Drive Association. He's got an autistic son. I went to the Mid-Am champion of the amateur golfer in the country. His sister, Kelly Keeney, played on tour with diabetes. I mean, all of a sudden, we got all these stories, right? There's 21 charities, including Habitat for Humanity. See, I couldn't write a check, but I could use who I knew. I could use what I knew and who I knew, so I could still do something. Do you understand? It's living your legacy, not leaving. And then Charlie Tremendous Jones, we shared the stage, his last event before he passed. Thanks for your tremendous desire to save the world one book at a time. For the back of the book. Awesome. Contribution beyond self. E. Well, I know. E. Educate yourself continually. That's what you're doing here today. That's what you're doing with UPW. That's what you're doing with Tony. That's what you're doing with all these things. The fact is, you are the sum total of your 5 closest friends. That's it. Take your 5 closest friends, take their income, add them up, divide it by 5. You will be plus or minus $10,000. If you don't like the money you make, get better friends. Not trying to be mean. I'm saying hang around better people. Doesn't mean get rid of the people you hang around with, but you are what you hang around with. You are who you focus with. Where you focus is where you go. When I wanted to get in the speaking business, I started hanging around. I'm blessed. I get to hang backstage with Tony and with Harv Eker and with Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen and Colin Powell and Rudy Giuliani and Laura Bush. And you know what? You find out they're people, and you're sitting back there drinking water just like they're drinking, and you say, General Powell, where'd you develop your leadership skills? And he said, well, let me tell you. When I was a young boy, it started, and you just go, thank you. And why did I do what I did? I've done 2,000 events. People go, are you any good? And my answer, I go, that's really up to you to determine. But my answer is, you don't do 2,000 events and suck. I mean, it just doesn't happen that way. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to, but I'm not the self-promoter. The reason you don't know my name probably is because it's not about me. It's about the message. When you educate yourself consistently, when you're constantly looking, then you have the ability to use the butterfly effect. You have the ability to take one positive action and put it in this world, and it creates another ripple effect all the way across the world. The fact is, Sean, you don't even know this, we're going to talk about it at Mastermind. I'm sitting with another speaker friend of mine, and we go, we are so sick of pitch fests. And I used to do them. But our product was good. That's the difference, right? It's not a pitch fest if there's actual product. I've seen a lot of vaporware in my career. So we were sitting at an event a couple weekends ago, and we go, we hate pitch fests. I'm just tired of it. We need people to invest in each other. And all of a sudden we're going along and we're going along and we're going along. You know what we should do? We should create a whole new movement. Well, what are we going to call it? Well, what's it really all about? It's really all about you plus one. If just you could invest in one other person, we could make the world a better place. So we're starting U Plus One. It's a $47 event, by invitation only. Sean and I are going to scholarship the first 12 people. And then those 12 people get the right to invite 12 that they scholarship. So those 12 get free. So the first event is $24. If you want to come back, then you pay your $47, but you have the right to bring somebody, U plus one. If we offer books, if we offer products, if we do that, whatever the price of the product is, you supply two. One for that person and one for who they're going to gift it to. We're going to create a movement called U plus one because we got to invest in each other. We've got to do our stuff. The more that we can do. See, it's really funny. Two telling two, telling two, telling two hits the entire planet in 32 iterations. 32. That's all it takes. We just want to do our part. Hopefully you've got some value for this. My email address is scott@scottschilling.com. It's very complex. It's my name. If I can ever be of service to you, we will have the books. What we're going to do is, Ricardo just drilled me on this. This book is how we took one of the companies that I consulted to from 8 million to 100 million in 5.5 years. Business book, $30. Charity book, 21 charities, Talking with Giants, $15. If you buy this book, I'll give you this book. When we run out of this book, you'll buy this book if you want it. So again, I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Hopefully this was okay. Hopefully this did something for you. God bless. You guys are awesome.
Thank you, sir.